When I write script, I don't really know what's gonna happen. I have some goals that I want to happen in a specific scene. An example would be I want my characters to bond, and that's my outline bonding. After that, the characters just do their thing. They literally drive the scene. It's really weird. This doesn't happen all the time. You must be familiar with the writer's block. It happens when the words just doesn't come out. And the thing I do when that happens is I just write whatever in a very forced way. It's like I'm dragging my characters to do things. The fantastic part about this method is when I finish writing the shitty scene, I get inspired by it. It's really weird. I just cringe and say, this is effing ugly. And then I just spontaneously write the scene. So, in this idea, it really makes me wonder about free will. I mean, where do thoughts come from? And creative activity is like possession. The scene plays out in my head, they just appear wherever fucking realm they come from. There's a reputation about artists like they're suffering, they're mentally unstable, and yes, for the most part, they are. I mean, we are. And because my reason is highly critical, I am able to stabilize myself when all the angst and the feeling of lack of control takes over me. Because in the end, I have little control over the objective world. I'm gonna try to articulate the reason of the artist's instability. First thing first, this is just me, my own observation and deduction. Just another human being like you talking about art stuff. I don't claim that what I say is absolute. So, all of us are different. I'm just gonna talk about the general reason of the artist's instability. So, first of all, we are a social creature. And for the longest time of our history, we depends in a community for survival. So we evolved to care and to be in a community. And in the past, artists don't have trouble integrating into the tribe. We can evidently see the cave drawings. Seems like the artist is well fed to be able to draw. So in our modern culture, artists are outcast. Not literal outcast, I'm just talking about the social structure. It's slowly changing, yes, due to social media, but I'm talking about the bad reputation of the artist throughout the history. So, first of all, even though we are highly advanced and civilized, art is still a taboo, at least in my country. I am from the Philippines, and Filipinos have altruistic values. We value the collective more than the individual, and we value practicality and survival. Granted and highly understandable since standard of living is really hard in here. All I'm saying is when an artist is in an environment where his or her skills are not valued and actually shunned and discouraged, this will cause internal conflict inside the artist. Because of course, like I said, we are social creature. It is in our biology to have a community, and when the community rejects us, the pain is deep, like really, really deep. And so this will lead to a lot of problems for the artist because of course he or she wants to create but his or her community doesn't value he or she creates. And it's really hard not to attach your worth in your creation as an artist or even as a human being. And most of us doesn't even have the wisdom and the awareness to detach from our work. And so creating in of itself is painful for the artist because while he or she creates, she or he is like hurting his or her body that cares about the community. So the artist is literally split apart. His or her innate desire to create and his or her need for a community. Second reason for their suffering is lack of financial stability. Art is beautiful, but overall it is irrational. We can't measure the value of art. What I mean by that is there is no objective unit to measure the value of art. It takes years to build reputation for the art to be valued by the mass, and it takes years to develop the skill, and it takes years to create paintings, I'm talking about traditional paintings in here, but yeah, I mean, it's ridiculously hard. Anyone who pursues this are possessed by spirit. Like in the old times, people considered love a possession, since it really grips someone into madness. Like, I would die for you, like Romeo and Juliet. When you really think about it rationally, it's really insane. Just objectify the idea of killing yourself for someone is insane. And it's the same for art, it's a possession. But let's be level headed here. Yeah, okay. So, third reason would be production instability. What I mean by this is artist block. And it's actually what I fear the most. It's like the spirit that possessed you suddenly leaves your body, and now you're empty and your hand won't move anymore. It's a horrifying idea. And this indicates that creation, for the most part, isn't in the artist's control. Most of the artists are born with innate desire to create, and then suddenly it's gone. It's like your arm is chopped off. So it's ridiculous overall, this whole art endeavor. The feeling of holding your pee and after long hours you're finally able to release it. That in the end, that's the feeling I get when I draw. It's a deep relief. I don't know, it's hard to explain. And for the longest of time, I don't want to admit that I like art. I can't even say it out loud by myself. And I already talked about this in my previous video about admitting to yourself being an artist. It's like in our culture, is being an artist seems special. Like artists are special. And I don't want to categorize myself and label myself to be quote unquote special. That is why up to now, even the phrase I am an artist still feels strange. Maybe because of the connotations behind the word, but it's really weird. It's really a weird existence. The most of us didn't even try to question the weirdness of it all, because we're gonna go cray cray. So yeah, I think that's that. Thanks for listening to this short talk about art and artists. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. I don't have a proper schedule in posting, but I like to post videos whenever I can. And lastly, I am creating a web comic. The title is None of the Gods. It's out now on webtoon, tapas, webcomics, and okida. Genres. I like how the genre is pronounced. I feel like I'm a British elite genre. Okay, the genre is fantasy, action, romance, basically about the young nobles coming of age as they take serious responsibility in the world and venture into the world of magic and power. So if that sounds interesting, check it out. The link is on the comment section along with all my socials. Yeah, have a good day and life in general. If you like to support the channel, you can like this and comment your thoughts below. And if you're high on mushroom, in case I am leaving my PayPal link in the description box below. So yeah, see you when I see you. Bye.